2023 is the last year for the Dodge Challenger and the Dodge Charger. Things are changing. And as a final goodbye, they brought out something special. This is not a regular Hellcat. It's not a regular red-eye. Nope. This is something very different because they're going out on a major kaboom. What do I mean by that? I'm talking about a vehicle that puts out 1,025 horsepower and 945 pound-feet of torque. It actually may have the ability to snap your pelvis 0 to 60, which is, I believe, NHRA rated at 1.65 seconds. Is that right, Zach?
1.66. 1.66
seconds. Of course, 6.6. You can see a lot of sixes in this vehicle. And what am I referring to? This is the 2023 Dodge Demon 170. And yes, all those numbers I gave you are correct, and all of it is done on E85. That's right, this thing will use E85, alcohol injected. I'm freaking out because, I mean, just think about the numbers. This is a production car. It is completely street legal. You can get an option for a parachute. I'm not lying. So that's really cool.
Let me start back there, Nathan. I'll show them that before we move
Yeah, we might as well
to the
start
rest
at the back and work our way to the front. Why not? So come on over here. So if you get the, and it's not aftermarket, it's part of Dodge.
It's available through Dodge's Direct Connection program.
This is where you put it. That's because its numbers are so off the charts that it's required by the NHRA.
Yeah, how quickly will this do the quarter mile, Nathan?
Zach, those exact numbers are...
According to Dodge's official numbers, NHRA certified numbers is 8.91 seconds. So that's why it needs...
That's a quarter mile. Unbelievable.
It's insane, and that's why it needs the parachute mounting system, because technically, if you're under 9, you have to have that in order to compete. Otherwise, you're kicked out.
That's
so,
exactly...
Of course, it's banned.
So we're going to pop the hood, because really a lot of it has to do with what you're looking at under the hood. Now, bear in mind that pretty much everything except for perhaps the crankshaft has been completely redone, beefed up, in order to make it work in this vehicle. So you may have noticed, by the way, massive hood scoop. Yes, obviously functional. Also, you know how one side, the headlight, had a little hole there for the intake? Well, no, it's both sides. That's right. Now, we got special access to this car, so one of a few who are actually able to do this right now with you guys, so I'm very happy about this. Okay, first of all, very important to make sure you have your little demon face right there. Now, why is it called the 170? This is different than the other Demon. It's also a lot faster. And the reason it's called the 170 is octane, right? Yeah, that's right.
It's one of the most metal reasons ever. It refers to 170 proof, since this is tuned to run on E85 ethanol. That's why it's called the Demon 170.
Such a heavy metal car. No, seriously, this is heavy metal. A couple things you should know about. You got a special plate here, so you know everything is numbered.
So specifically, this last call underhood plaque is coming on every Challenger and every Charger built for 2023. This is the last model year.
And there's 3,000 of these that are going to be built for the United States, and 300 of them that are going to be built for Canada. Sorry, Canada. And that's it. This is the last of the last of the last calls. This is it. No more.
One other quick thing I wanted to mention on that front too is 3,000 for the U.S., 3,000 or 300 for Canada. I'm sorry, is production target. They're ending production of this and the Charger at Brampton, Ontario on December 31st. So however many they build between July, when this is about to go into production, and December 31st, that's it.
That's it. You're done after that. So this is it, folks. Now, we'll go over pricing near the end of this, but for the most part, the only green component about this car, the fact that it can burn on E85, and it doesn't have to run on E85, by the way. You can detune itself, and it will be able to run on high-grade fuel, just regular pump fuel.
It can run on E10 Premium, E85, and anything in between. It will tune itself accordingly.
Right, exactly. So it'll do that automatically. But there is a green belt here, so keep that in mind. There is something green about this vehicle.
But we do want to mention the absolutely massive supercharger sitting atop this engine.
3-liter. Yes,
supercharger.
Insane. So it's bigger than the one that was on the previous, all the previous, the Red Eyes, Demons, all that stuff, which I think was 2.7 liter. 3-liter. That's a lot of internal displacement. More than anything else I can think. You have to dedicate a lot of horsepower just to turn the pulleys, which, by the way, pulleys are different diameter. Everything under here is different. So, Zach, throw out some numbers here.
So it's 3-inch supercharger pulley. I mean, everything pretty much apart from the crankshaft has been, or the camshaft rather, has been modified. So rod bearings, cam bearing, or main bearings, rod bearings. I'm completely losing my train of thought here, Nathan. I'm sorry.
That's okay. There's so much. There's so much there. Now, the good news is that we're going to have everything written, and it's going to be there. Go to alltfl.com, and you'll be able to see all of that information right there.
It'll be on tflcar.com. Yeah, sorry about that.
That's right. So we looked at this. Now, what about underneath? Well, once again, everything's changed. So the suspension has been upgraded. This is not built for the Grand Prix. It is built for drag racing. As such, let's start up front. These are 18-inch wheels.
18 by 8, yeah.
So they are very skinny. This is the standard rubber that you're looking at too, by the way. As close as you can get to a drag slick that's legal. Now, you may have noticed one of the things they did is they removed the fairing from the side here. Frankly, they don't need it with such a skinny tire, but more importantly, they're looking for weight savings and aero benefits. So by removing this section, that helps. And then, come on back here, of course, Big Demon. Then you got these babies here. So these are 17 by 11
inch. Yep.
And you're talking about, I mean, this is pretty much the drag slick.
315 50 R17 Mickey Thompson ET Street R drag radials designed specifically for this car.
Specifically for this car. And you may notice, yes, the blister is over here. So they did keep it over here. Obviously, they had to because much wider rear tires. Now, remember we were talking about the parachute earlier, which is down there? Well, you still have a functional trunk. Yep, actually, it's a pretty damn big trunk. And you can see the back. That is all carbon fiber, real carbon fiber that leads to the interior as opposed to the back of the rear seats. Why? Because, well, no rear seats. They had to do a few things in order to maintain weight savings. And as such, there is a delete, but you can get the interior if you want it, but there are a few things that you have to keep in mind when you do so, one of which is that you won't run as fast. So let's have a look at the interior. Come on.
One of the things I did want to mention right off the bat, since it's over on my side on the IP, get Demon logo, and then this part, which is blank on this specific car, should be serialized to the VIN. So press images show it with 6666, which is really pretty metal. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's fire this puppy up. Okay, look around here. The rest of the interior is pretty much normal, by the way. There's not a whole lot of differences except for this. This is for your drag chute. So when you're driving down the street, if you have a chute hanging out, which I don't think you're supposed to, don't pull this. Okay, so you're looking here. Here we go. Now you'll see the little gas tank next to the Angry Demon head, and that says E85, and that's what the vehicle is running right now. Obviously, everything you need is on the SRT dashboard right here. All the apps and everything else in terms of engine performance and shift modes, everything is right here. And the cool part about that is that it's not that much different than what you would find on a Red Eye or a Demon. Now, over here, your launch control. Unfortunately, we're not able to drive it, but we can start it up and let you guys hear it. So from the inside, wait for it. Whoa. Now, how about you hop outside?
Yeah, I will absolutely do that.
By the way, show the seats on the way out because they are embroidered with a special Demon on them. And yes, of course, they're built for special seat belts, so you can have the 4-point.
Yeah, just like on the outside too, you get the little 170 neck tattoo on the Demon.
All right, so let's hop out. I'm going to shut the car off, and then I'll start it back up.
Cool.
And you're going to hear an amazing exhaust note.
Go for it.
Hey Zach, why don't you go up front? You can hear the induction noise.
Oh yeah.
Okay, one more thing. Now that should make all of you really happy. There are a lot of additional details. Let's talk about pricing real quick because, once again, 3,000 of these available in the United States, hopefully, and 300 in Canada. Zach, I believe it is under $100,000 before dealers do horrible things to the pricing. Am I correct?
Well, it's $96,666, excluding destination, excluding taxes and fees.
Yeah, so I'm not going to go into whether or not you consider that a bargain. I kind of do, considering the performance you're getting. But there are a few things that you should probably keep in mind, and that is the fact that Dodge does not have any control over what their dealers are doing. So I sincerely hope that you guys are able to get it near the price because it is extraordinary. And this is it. This is the final thing. They're not doing any more of these. Can you get the front end of that? Yeah. It's interesting because if you just drive up on it, you just think to yourself, it's a demon or it's a Hellcat. But then when you start seeing everything, and more importantly, when you hear it, then you realize it's something special. And as awesome as this car is, it's also kind of sad because, as I said before, this is it. They're not doing anymore. You won't be able to get another monster Hemi like this, ever. Not in a new vehicle. So rejoice while you can. Hopefully we'll be driving one of these really soon. Really appreciate you joining me and Zach. Thank you so much behind the camera. Stay tuned for more because it's coming.